Hello everyone, welcome to HR Trends. So today we are going to discuss a very important topic, which is virtual onboarding.
Okay, before moving to the next topic, please subscribe to our channel for latest updated videos of HR trainings. Please press the bell icon for the latest notifications of the HR videos. Thank you.
So now we are going to discuss what is virtual onboarding. Virtual onboarding uses technology to facilitate the integration of new employees into a remote team. Organizations use virtual or remote onboarding advantages to make remote employees feel welcome to a new organization and reach productivity sooner. It's a crucial time for both the employer and the employee, as it sets the tone for the rest of their working relationship. While in person, onboarding is an excellent way to foster a warm welcome and help employees feel valued. It is only part of the equation, whether your company is remote first or not. By combining insightful videos, pre-recorded messages from senior executives, and a comprehensive online learning path, companies can ensure that remote workers feel like valued members of the team from day one. So now we will discuss why do we need virtual onboarding. The pandemic forced companies to reconsider how they onboard newly hired employees. The concept of remote working is very old, but companies started using it a lot during the COVID-19 pandemic. It wasn't just the new employees who were working remotely, so were their managers and new teammates. So was HR staff tasked with coordination, the handoff from hiring to onboarding to productivity. IT staff had to ensure new employee had secure access to company system and had the equipment needed to succeed. Everyone was affected when onboarding was upended. Now, after a year of remote onboarding, many companies have actually found that virtual onboarding is more effective than traditional onboarding practice. Now we will discuss difference between virtual and in-office onboarding. Number one, absence of physical experiences. Number two, demands constant efforts. Number three, scope of misunderstanding. Number four, lack of passion and enthusiasm. Number five, lack of technical know-how. Okay, now we will discuss these points in detail. Number one, absence of physical experiences. It's a different feeling when you are around the new employee in person to welcome them to their desk, show them the cafeteria, and introduce them to their colleagues. But when performing all of these stages online, you can't expect things to fall into place so quickly. Things will feel significantly less personal and caring when people only meet over the screen. They wouldn't be able to catch the water cooler conversations that would have taken place if they were in a physical office. When meaningful or casual conversations do happen online between meetings, they happen intentionally. But most of the time, they don't happen at all. Number second is demands constant efforts. The virtual onboarding process runs on similar rules. The design of your employee induction process should be so attractive that the new colleagues know what's coming next at all times. HR managers may find this need to make constant efforts challenging. One of the way to get some control over this is by automating the virtual onboarding process with the help of software that offers end-to-end solutions. So number third is scope of misunderstanding. Although video conferencing applications may have connected the world in the best possible way, we still have a long way to go about understanding human emotions through screens. It's tough to gauge people's body language, gesture, or expression on video calls, and more challenging to figure out if they understood you properly. Unlike the offline setup, where the newcomers could clearly understand their role and company from their managers and peers, virtual onboarding may not offer them that clarity if one of the steps doesn't go well. So, the next one is lack of passion and enthusiasm. During an offline onboarding process, we understood that different shades of the person as they approached various tasks throughout the day. Sometimes, when they were not confident enough to mix up with colleagues, we would witness the heartwarming encouragement provided by their colleagues. Through those close interactions, people experienced emotion and created memories. Adding to that, new employees would always bring extra energy and positivity to the table. It's hard to replicate their passion and enthusiasm in the virtual setup with their peers. The next one is lack of technical know-how. A deficiency of knowledge in specific technical tools is one of the biggest challenges of remote onboarding. The employee joining the organization may never have used video conferencing, the management, or standard tools offered by their new organization. Therefore, the technical knowledge gap will be prominent, which you can remove with clear documentation and explanation about the software to the new joiner. Okay, now we will discuss virtual onboarding process. In this process, we have number one, help with documentation and registration, preparing for the first day of work, first meeting, employee training, and permanent employment. This is a very important topic in which we will discuss that how we can perform virtual onboarding. So please stay tuned. So the first one is help with documentation and registration. Make sure that you have all the necessary documents ready. Instructions for new employees applying for a job. Storage of documents and their templates are available. And employees have access to all the necessary files and chats. This will save time for both you and the new employee. So the second one is preparing for the first day of work. Invite an employee to all chats and groups of the company where colleagues communicate. We recommend making a greeting post for the newcomers and asking them to tell you about themselves. This will help you quickly join the company. If you need special equipment, you can send it by courier or meet with a newcomer personally. So the third one is first meeting. Here we advise you to organize a video call with the team for 2 to 3 days of work to give the person a chance to get comfortable, discuss issues, and get familiar with the job tasks. At this stage, it is worth introducing the beginner to his counselor. It is wiser to do this before calling the team so that the person knows whom he can contact for all questions. So the fourth one is employee training. At this stage, the beginners begin to learn the shades of working with goods, projects, services, or products, what the company does in the market. Here it is vital to draw up a program explaining the work procedure. If the company has a learning management system portal, of course, it will be much easier. You will need to create an account for the employee and assign him the necessary courses.
Okay, now we will discuss best methods to do successful virtual onboarding. The first one is be flexible. The second one is assign a mentor. The third one is celebrate small achievements. The fourth one is ask for constant feedback. Fifth one is automate the onboarding process. Sixth one is use collaboration tools. The seventh one is informal meetings. The eighth one is organize group events. We will discuss all these points one by one. Be flexible. Flexibility is the most significant learning that has stood out in the past 2 years for hiring and employee management. It's a great exercise to offer a planned and organized onboarding procedure to your new employees, but at the same time, it's also essential to give them much needed breathing space in between the tasks. Tell them they can operate things at their speed and reach out to you if they find something too stressful. This doesn't mean you can't use deadlines, just do so consciously where they are needed the most. Being flexible with your new joiners is one of the best ways to get a more qualitative outcome instead of the quantitative one. Remember, the process should prioritize learning, not results. Assign a mentor. A mentor is a person who gives new employee confidence, someone who is always there to answer questions openly, including the seemingly stupid ones. When it comes to selecting a mentor, we recommend someone with sufficient knowledge and skills about the new hire's role, strong job performance history, capacity to assist the new hire. Now, the question arises that how does this mentor help the new employee? The mentor, who is one of their co-workers, acts as a guide and friend at the same time, helps them settle down in their new office. They solve problems and help the newcomer get introduced to the company and other colleagues better. They make onboarding process easier and more enjoyable by being their go-to person. Whenever the newcomer faces a problem, the mentor makes them open up and hang out freely with everyone in the office. They become their first friends to whom they can trust and express themselves fully. Celebrate small achievements. When starting a new organization, most employees are passionate about their new role and try to put in more than expected. Another side of this scenario also includes them being concerned and unsure about whether they are good enough when meeting their colleagues and mentors at the job. To help them pass this feeling, you can assign them easy tasks and set smaller milestones to achieve as the starter. For example, suppose they are sales professionals. In that case, you can mutually decide the target for the first week is to book one meeting with a prospect instead of choosing something unrealistic and eventually frustrating. They will automatically be confident and inspired to surpass these numbers if they achieve that target. Apart from performance targets, you can also encourage them to engage in more informal activities like having a virtual coffee with a colleague every day or complete 25% of the training videos in the first week. Ask for constant feedback. Companies may have extraordinary onboarding processes, but just a few ask for feedback, which is quite alarming. As new hires are even more isolated when going through a virtual onboarding, there is no way around collecting feedback constantly. Asking for feedback also gives employees the space to express the good and bad parts of the onboarding process that could be changed or altered. You can automate these check-ins, for example, via surveys and scheduling meetings using software solutions. Some questions that could help HR to get precise feedback about the onboarding process are: how was your experience so far with the onboarding process? Is the process helping you understand your job role and the company well? Do you look forward to continuing the onboarding process? On a scale of 0 to 10, how much do you enjoy the onboarding experience? Do you have any specific feedback on any part of the onboarding process? Is there something you would like to change about the onboarding process? Is the mentor assigned to you cooperative and helpful? Automate the onboarding process. A virtual onboarding process could include multiple rounds of documentation, training, group interactions, one-to-one meeting with the new employee, orientation meetings, and administrative tasks. As much as the new joiner needs a systematic approach to navigate this process, the same goes for HR teams. In the interest of time and energy, it's a wise decision to automate the onboarding process with the help of software and tools available. It makes a massive difference to the HR managers of growing organizations who constantly alter tons of tasks apart from onboarding. Even dedicated onboarding managers should not spend big chunks of their time manually sending out the boring emails again and again, meeting invites, or introducing the same tools frequently. Instead, modern people operations teams are experience driven and data driven. With automation, you set up intelligent systems. Once say goodbye to last minute messy work. It also saves you the tedious process of repeating tasks every time you onboard a new employee. It is indeed more efficient, timely, and consistent than the manual onboarding process. Use collaboration tools. An excellent virtual onboarding process integrates as deeply as possible into the workflow. That means using tools like Slack, Asana, and Microsoft Teams. This is where the team spends most of their time blending in groups and connecting with their coworkers one-on-one or on a personal level. Furthermore, sending messages via Slack is claimed to be 3 times more effective than emails in completing a task. To get them started with these communities, you can schedule activities like create a separate channel for all new joiners. Engage them with icebreakers and easygoing events and forge bonds that will last for years. Schedule messages at particular intervals to celebrate milestones and send out facts and fun trivia about the company. Informal meetings. The meetings and messages may not essentially ensure that you know the new employee beyond work. And one way to do that is by catching up one to one on no agenda meetings. Similarly, you can call them up casually or arrange gaming sessions with their team members or people from other departments too. Little efforts like messaging them once in a while to check in if they are enjoying their time at the organization will go a long way in establishing a personal connection. Organization group events. It could be anything from a yoga session or a truth and dare round to help the new joiner mingle with their new colleagues. Common mistakes during onboarding process. The first one is waiting too long to start. Number two is leave home office employees entirely at home. Number three is stop ongoing support. The fourth one is ignore feedback. We will discuss all these points shortly, so stay tuned. Waiting too long to start. At first glance, it may sound logical that the induction of new employees begins on the first day of work, but that's too late because you should start as early as possible. Basic information should be handed out before the start date. This includes, for example, account access, general operational processes, and an overview of the existing team. Leave home office employees entirely at home. There may be many situations where there is no other solution to remote training. However, if there is the possibility, at least occasionally, to train the new employees in the office, then you should use this opportunity even if the future workplace of the remote employees is in their own home. The first 2 weeks can be spent in the office. There, they not only learn something about the systems and processes used in your company, but also make personal contacts with the colleagues with whom they will later work. Top ongoing support, whether 3 days or 3 weeks. Companies often throw their new employees in at the deep end as soon as the training is over. But even if all the basic instructions and processes have been conveyed, the onboarding process is far from complete. Especially employees in the field or in the home office need much longer support. For example, if new employees are close to your company, schedule weekly or monthly team meetings. E-learning systems are also an excellent choice for providing up-to-date developments or accompanying training for remote workers. Ignore feedback. The biggest mistake companies make when dealing with remote workers is ignoring the feedback. Not only do your employees learn something with a good induction, but you can also learn something yourself. Virtual onboarding combines formal, social, cultural, and professional aspects. It is the basis for further cooperation. Without this basis, successful work is difficult to imagine. Sure, creating a whole virtual environment for employees may be a major challenge, but we hope our tips help you to organize the whole process of onboarding virtually. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you will like it. Please share your valuable feedback with us. We love to hear from you. Please subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video, please share it and like it. And we would like to hear from you for the any future topic which you want us to make video on it. Thank you very much. All the best.